just want to get this off my chest. The worst thing you can do is to let them see that you're drained. Or it's a bit of a game to them, really. It's like a chessboard. Last night, I spent 3 hours, it's about 3 hours, with 3 men in the lobby. There you go, on and off, government agent. There's a chap downstairs whom I thought he might be a Freemason. I actually mentioned it in another video, and it turns out his dad was a Freemason, his father. Because we were talking about this, that, and everything under the sun. Under the sun. Which ironically, I know so much about so much anyway. I know loads of things, but I didn't know. I knew, obviously we know that they worship Baphomet and all that, but he said the secret, they worship the sun, sun worship, and but anyway, that's not what this video is about. I'm just saying that this man, I'm feeling suicidal again. This man, Alan is his name, and the 2 other men I was with, they prayed for me. But his father, like all low-level Freemasons, they think it's okay. And then, they find out that he found out that it was the sun. They have a name for the sun, and I've forgotten what it is. Begins with A. Because they're into their sun worship. But that's their big secret. I'm not scared by it. It's all, crumbs. There isn't anything I don't already know. That's frightening, I mean. That's why all these people, they get scared. I agree with him. They get all that money and then they think, what do I do? They panic. I've got everything. I've gained the world. With an opposite to where I am right now. Because I don't want the things of this world. That's why I've given up everything that's pagan, which all things pagan are a shop front for Satanism, as we know. Yeah, but I've got so many things. I could have been there for hours and hours talking about the people I know. Adamant's dad being in the paedophile Dolphin Square thing. William Schnoblum. But in this town, he was saying there are only yellow and green levels, like police levels of Freemasons. I didn't know about the colours, yellow and green. He said in this town, it's low level, police level. Up in London, he said, is where you need to be careful. It's magistrates and all that. It only goes up to the 23rd degree down here or something. But it's funny though that the other day, a couple of days ago, I made a video and I said, I wonder if he's a Freemason. Outspoken. He reminds me of Chris, actually, because I wondered if Chris might be a Freemason because he knows about the lodges and he knows about some people here and there, but he's also very secretive. Chris is very secretive, whereas Alan was being more, let's just put it this way. At one point they said, what we'll talk about astrology because astrology is my thing. I read all the books about astrology when I was 11 into adulthood. And I said, Cancerian men. And I said, we're very compatible. It's like my partner's on the cusp. Strangely enough, is what Caroline Stevens, that's one of the first things she asked me. which is, looking back now, you think that's not a normal thing to do, is ask someone you don't know what is their star sign. It's all very well people saying, "Oh, Caroline Stevens is a Fruit Loop. She's a horrible woman. You don't want to have anything to do with her." But I'm sorry, this is a woman who sounded very lovely, prayed for me, talked me out of suicide, wouldn't tell me how she knows the name of this police officer who arrested me on a fraud. She knows all these other people that comment on my YouTube videos, and I'm sickened by it. I can never trust anyone ever, ever, ever again. All this gaslighting, all this demonic, you're all doing the devil's work. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you have a Bible or not. You're insiders. Well, the politicians are mad. The politicians are paedophiles. The politicians are Freemasons, Baphomet worshipping whatnots. You know, Adamant wrote to me about his demons. He was a Freemason. I've seen him do all the gestures. His grandfather was in the Scottish Rite, and his dad was in the famous Dolphin Square paedophile sex ring. And Adamant wrote to me saying, "I can safely say I know the hell you're going through." And I believe he's an MK Ultra victim. There's a load of gaslighty people everywhere. Yeah. But I could have sat for hours with them. But what really put me off is the three lovely men, because they've all got their issues. They all prayed for me. And Terry, if he doesn't mind me saying, his workmate friend, he had a cleaning business. He actually used to work in one of these shitholes where a woman actually burnt the place down. This mad woman. I've lived in these places that he's talking about, and this woman used to try and take the mop from him and say, "I'll do the cleaning." It's like something from a British comedy. Why do you think our British comedies are so black? Because they're based on reality. And you know, this is why I'd like to, if I ever survive this, I'd like to write a black comedy, although I'm feeling suicidal again. But this woman was like, she said she used to say, "Oh, I'll do the cleaning," and she ended up burning the place down. Why do you think I'm worried about my stuff? I've been living with these nutcases, and the staff are nutcases, and the police are nutcases. They're all under the thumb. They're little cowards. It's been it's all very well people saying, "Bryony, why don't you just get yourself the hell out of there?" Well, hello. I'm not being funny, spiritual gathergood, Jefferson. I'm not being funny, but I had a look at your little video wall. You've got a wife, haven't you? You've got a partner. You've got someone to help you. Oh, she's got a car. Who've I got? Oh, how lovely of Caroline Stevens is a lovely lady. Yeah, she threatened me with legal action when I'm a victim of the police corruption, and she wouldn't tell me how she knows that PC Franklin Lester's real name, PC Franklin Lester Senior's real name is, what did she say? Dan Russell. If you see my last video, I've put it up. And then what are they going to do? Lock me away and throw away the key? She's a lovely Christian lady, is she? She talked me out of suicide. He's the one. Oh, they tried to set me, a vulnerable, bereaved young woman. Well, I'd like to think of myself as young. I'm not young anymore. They wanted to, and Angela Power Disney was saying you never accept help from anyone, which is exactly what this demented magistrate's custody suite manager was shouting at me. This is what they've told the trustees of my late mother's estate. This video is about these bastards who've exploited me and failed me. Emmanuel from Out of Hours Duty, have a look at my videos. He came out to me because of the MP office the other day, right? He came here to the hotel. I'm feeling suicidal. I've live streamed my phone calls. I've got government agents watching this. He said someone would come out to the property with me to check on my possessions. Listen to the voice message where John Bartlett is saying, I haven't been in your room to check on your things. Why hasn't he done that? As far as I'm aware, the things are still in your room. Why aren't they checking? I am self-funding this hotel for my safety. The whole of Eastbourne Borough Council know this. Angela Power Disney shared my Herald. Well, she didn't share it. Someone on Facebook shared my Herald article where they said that I beat the police. This is what I was telling the three men in the lounge yesterday. Someone reported my phone. And as for Lorraine Blackwell, listen to that live stream where I'm saying to Lorraine Blackwell from Brighton Housing Trust, I'm live streaming my calls and she's all lovely on the phone, just like Caroline Stevens. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, no, I will let them know how badly you were treated. I'm letting her know everything. Then what? I go down there and I find that someone on here has reported me. My video, they've reported this. I go down there and she said, Bryony, we're aware that you've live streamed it and we won't help you unless you take it down. They never have helped me. So it's a threat. And what have they got to hide? When I'm already a victim of the corruption. And she's going, oh, yes. I am sick to the back teeth of the fakery and the lies. I don't care who you work for and what you do. You failed me and my mother, Sarah McCarthy. We have both been exploited by you. Me and my late mother, my elderly late mother, have been exploited by you. You owe it not only to me, but to my mother as well. She sold the house. She expected me to be supported. Is anyone helping you with your mother's cancer? Are they? Heck. Ella Williams, the care coordinator, bullied me out of there. Now, my lovely lady friend Juliet, she's not out of the woods. She's still going to see an oncologist. She's got other people to care for. Do you think I want to put my stress onto her? No. One people becomes two people, becomes three people. That horrible Caroline Stevens said that about Darren, oh, he's got his issues. You're a crutch for each other. He's done his bit. He's probably looking up other women. How nice. Not a whole lot different to my Portuguese godmother saying that men only want to take advantage of you. Well, guess what this reminds me of? Talking of the Freemasons, Guide Camp. Yes, I am a clever person. You're right, Caroline. Yes, you're right, Angela Power Disney and all you others. I am a clever person. You sound like the social worker landlord. You know too much. Oh, get in the club. Yeah. You're like little children. This reminds me of Guide Camp when I was 11. And Gemma Jones, a lovely girl in the year above me, she said exactly what the Freemason said. The Freemason who wanted his dirty way with me, who shoved his tongue in my mouth. The one I worked with at the garden centre. I noticed how Caroline Stevens was interested in that. Well, just like him saying to Jane Jubilance, I'm worried that people will take advantage of Bryony, and yet he told my mother he wanted to impregnate me. Yeah, so a man who's older than my father, and I was a teenager. That's the Freemason. Well, on Guide Camp when I was 11, Gemma Jones said, I overheard her with the other girls, the others, in a tent saying, I heard her say, I'm worried that people will take advantage of Bryony. And I saw Gemma Jones this summer at the vintage, it was crap. It wasn't like the good old fashioned fairs things. And I was with Darren and I said, oh, there's Gemma Jones from Guide Camp. These things are really at the forefront of my mind. I'm worried that people will take advantage of Bryony. Story of my life. What else do I want to say? I want to get this off my chest. You know, there's so much. My dictaphone it makes, I vomited in that place from the stress in that hellhole. I've got a recording of this idiot. They've obviously all been to prison. Well, most of them have, or they're police protected. Because they tried to get me stitched up, didn't they? A law-abiding, bereaved woman. Because that's how you get the help. That's what Angela Power Disney and the bent, corrupt magistrate's custody suite manager meant when they both said you don't accept help from anyone. These are people I've never even met in my life. So you're all part of a network. And I don't care if you're an MK Ultra victim. I don't care if you have been abused. You are taking advantage of vulnerable people. I've got a dictaphone recording of one of the several licensees who attacked me. I'm not going to go through them all because the whole thing is full up. I was being terrorized in a state of trauma. I've got my first grey hairs. And this idiot was saying, just, John's had enough of you. John's had enough of you. John's had enough of you leaving text messages and phoning up. And she was, what else did she say? Because this is what's really interesting, right? This is what's really interesting. My partner, Darren, my partner, Darren Webb, he's saying they've all got they've got their mental health issues. Well, that's what Mike from Citizens Advice Bureau said to me 2 years running. Well, you won't mind having your bedroom window smashed and being terrorized then by these criminals. But when it comes to Bryony with her issues, we've got to make her street homeless. She's complaining about bed bugs crawling on her, or she'll get the deep state on her. Really? Really? The man I'm going to email, whose name I won't mention, somehow managed to influence Princess Anne into coming down to Eastbourne. Let's see if he really is interested in vulnerable people in Eastbourne. Because really, I sat with those men last night. They prayed for me, and I swear I could just, excuse my French, I could go off my fucking head. I don't swear, but people are, through this covert narcissism, they're bringing out the worst. They're going to bring out the worst in a good person. That's why I had a man at the Saffron, a man in his 50s, saying to me that if it's you good people who end up stabbing someone to death, and he was laughing about it. It was sinister, but he was right. You spend your whole lives being nice people and you end up stabbing someone and you can't stop. What are you so afraid of? Why are you afraid of the truth? I'm here to help. I could go and top myself. And you out there, you just carry on. You'll keep causing people suffering. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about this for much longer. So Emmanuel from Out of Hours has let me down. Lorraine Blackwell, fake. Then what do? You go to Sue Clinton with all your lies, just like Rhian Tucker. They've done absolutely sweet FA. Sweet bugger all. But add to my trauma and my problems and the lies. The many people have said you don't want to look at your medical records because you won't like what they've put on them. The number of people who say that. Don't ask for help. The worst thing my mother ever did was ask for help from me. Me too. But it's a catch-22, isn't it? Because we do need help. I've been left with all these problems. I can't go to my father, who's estranged, or my sisters, who are vile to me. I supported them when my mother died. But they had someone else to go to. Even my middle sister. It was primarily me that my mother was worried about. She said, Brian, he doesn't have anyone. It's all right for Tanya. But even my middle sister's got people around her. Yeah, so Terry downstairs. Terry, the one who's got the cleaning business, his friend's daughter. This is absolutely true. This isn't. We've all got the same spiritual knowledge. The same. Me and Alan have got this. Some of us have got that. He's got that psychic power that he said he could read into me, and I've got it as well. But there's something on the cliffs, the beachy head, the white cliffs, that people are drawn to suicide. It's demonic. But then Darren and I found something written by one of the weird letting agents about the witchcraft that was done up here. But yeah, you could just Terry said his friend's daughter, he said she wasn't the type of person. She'd been going through dark times, but her father never thought that she would just go and jump off the cliffs, and she did. And he had to identify her body. But I now want to go back downstairs when they're down there drinking and say, look, you can't tell me I've had attempted rape almost immediately after my mother's death. I had domestic violence and abuse of the worst kind. Well, with my partner, it's not something you can see, but with that bastard who came to my mother's funeral, he was such a gentleman, and then he changed almost like that. And it's all part of this programming. My sisters weren't there. There are actually evil people that are enjoying this. Andy Devine wasn't wrong about that. There will be people who enjoy your downfall. Oh God, I don't actually want to talk about it because I just don't want to talk about it. There will be people who enjoy seeing you kill yourself, which is why Matt Taylor said there's already been one suicide in the truthers community. I find that hard to believe. I bet it's loads more. People are jumping off those cliffs all the time. People are jumping off the cliffs every other day. It doesn't make the papers. Why do you think Andy from the Beachhead Chaplains left? He couldn't save people. He actually said to me, no, I'm not having another one go over the cliffs, and he pulled me away. They don't care. They don't care. Steve and Lynn have gone to set up a place of safety. They wouldn't even do me a favour. If they really are Christians, why didn't they? I gave them the contact of my late mother's best friend, Iris. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. They've gone to set up with the charity money, a place of safety. I've already been to one of those places and they still couldn't fund it. So they're going to fund another one, are they? You think that's going to stop people from killing themselves? A place of safety. If you're feeling suicidal, come to us. It is, they want me out of this town. They want me to either kill myself. I'm not going to be talking to the beachy head chaplains anymore for cups of tea and their bullshit. It's bullshit. If they want to help people, they can listen to me. I'm speaking the truth, but they don't want to because they don't want to waste their precious money on people who are in despair and suicidal. I'm the person to speak to about this. I've had the experience, which is why they want to shut me up. They want to keep the money for themselves. These rich people at the top. That's what Alan was saying downstairs. I knew he had a link to Freemasonry. I knew it. I knew it. I wonder how many other people have got links. And I don't care if they all are all lower levels down here. Greens and yellows and police and whatnot. I don't care. They're not doing anything. There's one girl called Emma in the psychiatric unit. I treasured that little piece of paper where she said, Bryony, I'm on your side. I thought, hallelujah, Abba Yahweh, hallelujah. One empath. It's toxic. I don't have someone with a car or anyone to help me anywhere. One place of safety. What, for all the thousands of people on the streets? And yet they're helping illegal immigrants and putting them up in plush places because they're coming over illegally in boats to our small, tiny island. A rich country, yes, for a small number of people who've got all that money and all the masses. People can't even, in 6 months' time, this is the chap whose dad was a Freemason, the one I was just telling you about. He's saying that in 6 months' time, the cost of food and energy bills are going to go up. He's not going to cope. Sorry, I thought we already had children living in poverty, human trafficking, everything. But they won't listen to Bryony, not even at a basic level. Screw you all of you who say, leave it in the past. Leave what in the past? Trauma that's been contributed to by people paid to protect us. Did you watch my last video? Juliet told me about this poor doctor who's traumatized for life, and no amount of money in the world, no amount of money or apologies would ever let me get over what happened to that doctor. It is disgusting. It's revolting. It's sickening. And you lot, you want your children to grow up in that. Well, shame on you. Shame on you. And you are disgusting. You are disgusting. If you don't speak out the way I am, you are just as revolting. You really are. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And there are children who've got to go through this. My mother was absolutely right. Nothing but cowards. Cowards. What else do I want to say? I want to get this off my chest. Because if anything happens to me, I want my father's going to know about this. He's going to know. And I just know that my mother was right. Life on earth is hell. Life on earth is hell. It really is. At least I know that when I knock on that door for my saviour, he won't turn me away. I've done the best I can. I've done the bloody best I can. So, yeah, I think it's interesting that Alan, the chap that I mentioned, whose father was a Freemason, he knows Sue Wagstaff, and Sue Wagstaff is one of the two ladies who came out to me to offer me a 1-bedroom flat in May, and that never happened. And then I was attacked in September. It's all, you can see in my videos, evidence of licensee attacking me. And I'd been on the phone to a doctor asking to help with sleeping tablets. And Dr. Caro just said, stop rabbiting on. And the neighbours were disturbed. I don't care. I don't care about the neighbours. They don't care about anything. Yeah, so I've got loads of dictaphone recordings of obnoxious call handlers hanging up, terminating calls. Whether Darren's behind this smear campaign and playing the victim, because lots of people like doing that. They destroy the person they say they love and then they play the victim. It's pure evil. But if Darren has been doing that, whether or not he has or hasn't, I don't know. I know that he's been emotionally abusive towards me, and the police, that's why the police arrested him once. It was very strange to see him arrested, my sweet boy. But everyone's got to answer for themselves at the end of the day. Yeah, and so as I said, you know, it's just a little bit strange, isn't it, to have one of the there are two A&A contractors. I recorded one of them calling me an effing spastic, and the other one referred to John Alexander Patterson as a what did he refer to him as? A nutcase. How they knew who John Patterson was, I don't know, because he's not famous. But isn't it interesting that PC Franklin Lester has met John Patterson? Yeah. Everybody calls everyone a nutcase. You all fight each other. This is what I find very strange. And Caroline Stevens, when I reached out to her, I gave her the contacts of my family. She knows, she wouldn't tell me how she knew that PC Franklin Lester's real name was Dan. This is a police officer that arrested me 3 hours after I phoned 999 to report a criminal. You will hear it in my last video. I'm not going to keep playing it over and over again. And this Caroline Stevens, you know, she was interested to know, oh, do you think John Patterson is for real? And PC Franklin Lester has met John Patterson, and John Patterson is exposing Sussex police. So all these truthers, all you people out there, you don't get together like normal adults. And yet the people closest to me, I can't even go to them because they're screwed up. So really, I would suggest you all pray. Pray, because obviously you've got this illness of narcissism, and I'm sick to the back teeth of it. I can't be the one to... I've put all my cards on the table. I've been brutally honest, and I'm sick to death of being taken advantage of, all the lies, all the bullshit. You can't leave trauma in the past when the trauma bonding is still there. I've been left with more trauma. I was exploited by the system. My mother died of cancer. I had Joseph Bastard Vonderdale. Some idiot that I met in a comedy club who just emotionally abused me. I had a short-term relationship, and he emotionally abused me physically and emotionally. And then I took the overdose 6 months after my mother died. And then attempted rape. You know, most women don't report these things. They don't. The police say that women aren't reporting rape. I went to the Saturn Rape Victim Centre in Crawley. I said, let's get it over with. Let's do it. Saturn is Saturnalia is a satanic god that the Freemasons love. That's why they name all these places after their idols, their satanic idols. They love all this. They love idolatry. They love symbols. The world is run by symbols. Yeah, but you know that's you pick up on these little things. But the thing I'm talking about is, you know, that's demonic in itself. So you've got demonic strongholds, you've got trauma going on, and then you've got people brainwashed. As I'll say again, look up the Tavistock Institute and Committee of 300 that John Patterson spoke about. There was a lady at the property. I don't know if she's still there or if she's been evicted or what, but she's a victim. She and her son were a victim of someone whose face was on the front of the Daily Mail. She was a child client of the Tavistock Institute, and she also did paperwork for them. The Tavistock Institute is where social workers and police get their training. It's very much still open. This deluded woman, this woman that Angela Power Disney said was deluded, attacked me on Facebook. She was part of this Andy Devine cult. Oh, it's closed. No, it's not. The Tavistock Institute is very much alive, open, continuing to do its damages to the masses and encouraging children to have sex changes and all sorts, you know. Yeah, so I've said what I wanted to say, but I also recorded those A&A contractors. One of the licensees that attacked me, I recorded her saying that John and Justin were working with the council to get me sectioned. It's in one of my videos. Yeah, that's Charles Lucas Property Management that John Bartlett works for. And my stuff had better be in that property. So John Bartlett, you better check on my stuff in that room. You better do that. In fact, I'm going to leave a voice message for you, and I'm going to record it so that it's on my YouTube channel, because this is all documenting for my own safety, for my own personal circumstances. So you can play the game of, you know, let's destroy Bryony, let's get rid of her, let's do. I'll play the game as well, because the responsibility is yours and you love passing the buck. This is why you hate me so much. The number of times I've heard the phrase, you need to take responsibility for yourself, and none of you do. You're just playing one great big Masonic game. You're order followers. I've been bullied out of the Eastbourne People's Assembly. The Eastbourne People's Assembly against austerity. And as Andy Devine said, because not everything these people say are wrong, austerity is bullshit. Yes, it is, Andy. It is bullshit, which is why they scared me away from them. These members of the council who are in it for their hush-hush money, as Yvonne Taylor said. Yes, and why they hate me so much. Yeah, so I've got a dictaphone full of recordings that I don't really want to delete because it's so damning for them. But I would like to move on. But I've got all these issues that you couldn't even begin to imagine. I mean, bereavement in itself. Most people in my position would be alcoholics, on drugs, or lying in a ditch or something like that. Well, I now know why my mother gave me wine in the high chair and why she would do it like they do on the continent. children drink wine with their families on the continent, but in this country there is a satanic programming thing of where getting young people to drink themselves into a stupor and excuse my French, but I should be a pisshead or a junkie. That's why I'm so ill. That's why you see me like this. Why I will only take herbal stuff to help. I'm not going to end up with dribbling mouth and whatever from psychotics and all this billion-dollar industry of crap that they like to force on the masses. No, that's why they hate me. So, yeah, what a sad existence these people have. But the truth is going out there. And I'm not going to say the rest of it, because if I say all of it, if I keep some of it secret, which Alan was right about, keep them guessing. Yeah, it's a game for them, but I'm not playing a game in the satanic sense. I am doing it in the sensible sense. That's why I'm not giving all my information out there. I'm just giving all of it, but not all of it. Because lies are going to get you. Lies, they will get you. And you know that, and that's why you're terrified. That's why you've got to do everything you can to destroy a person psychologically, spiritually. And that's why that A&A contractor's wife, when I saw her in Tesco, there's people are so fake down here, and I hate being part of it. It's not me. I don't like it. She tried to say hello to me, so the next time I saw her, she said, "Hello, Bryony," in the canteen queue, and I said to her when she came to the property, I said, "Dawn, why did you say hello to me?" "Oh, well, I just thought you might like to say, say hello and all that." I said, "Well, don't you think it's a little bit ironic since your husband was abusive towards me? Calling John Patterson a nutter, and on the quiet, he said to the licensee who attacked. I didn't say this bit to her, but the licensee who said, John and Justin are working with the council to get you sectioned. I heard him on the quiet saying, something's being arranged. And this was to an idiot, a stupid little girl. I say stupid little girl. She's 32, but she acts like a stupid little girl. And goodness knows who's got her children, her poor children. This is someone who's attacked me, assaulted me, a bereaved woman, a normal adult with mental health issues, and the police in this country, they are protecting and helping idiots because they are nothing more than criminals themselves. Why do you think when I was in the police cell, they said, if you're not well, we'll get a nurse out to you. And I said, got a nurse out to me. And this is what I said. This is one time the many times that they've put me in a police cell. And I said, and I just said very calmly, I said, do you have children? This is what they did. They got the door, slammed it in my face. They slammed the cell door in my face. And I tell you what, I am so glad I am not their children. I am so glad, Abba Yahweh, praise be, that I am not their children or anything to do with them. And they get paid to serve the crown and the public. They are paid to protect me. You pay your taxes to these Luciferians. Look up that article to do with The Guardian and that doctor. One person watching. And if you're a government agent, whoever you are, I don't care if you're a nobody, whoever you are, you just think about what I'm saying here. It could be you, your children, it could be your parents, it could be your grandparents, it could be anyone. And this is the future that they've got. If this is how it is now, World War III, so brainwashed by everything that's going on. But even if you're following orders, you can think for yourself. You don't have to do what anyone tells you to do. You don't have to be brainwashed with what anything tells you. You've got common sense. You can choose to use it, or you can choose to be an idiot. It's a choice that you make. It is a choice. I've never known anything like it when you're in the thick of it. It's when you're in the thick of it and you've already got a back catalogue of trauma and people just copy what other people say. You're an adult. You're not a child. And if you've got children, oh my gosh, just think of what these children are going through. If you can't handle it, think of what these children are going through. When I was a child, I didn't want to have a child because I knew, I just had this feeling that things were going to be really, really evil. And I was right. I was more than right. I couldn't have been more right. I just had this feeling. There'll always be a part of me that doesn't want to miss out on having a child because I'm a female. But 3 decades later, I'm thinking, crumbs, I couldn't have been more right as a child. All I said to them was, do you have children? And they slammed the cell door in my face. What does that tell you about how dangerous and mentally deranged? Look at this doctor, what they've done to her when she intervened with a teenage girl, and all she did was say, I'm giving you advice about your rights, when they strip search you. Look at how terrified and shaken up this doctor is. There's no amount of money in the world, no amount of apologies or compensation. They could give me all the millions and billions in the world. There is nothing that could ever make me recover from what they've done to that doctor. Look it up in The Guardian. That's it. I'm finishing my live stream now.